Right, we're back. This is part three with my chat with Bob Hellyer, one of my writers in the Memories of Lockdown series. And we're talking about Bob's life, getting to know Bob Hellyer. Now, we've got up to his life on the road. If you've listened to the first two parts, Life on the Road with Bob, and I have to draw attention to the picture that's now behind Bob, because that, I think I'm right in saying, takes us back to Entech days, which was the company that first employed you for Life on the Road. And tell us about the picture, Bob, just to start off.
This is actually,
Where are we?
we are at Reading Festival.
Yeah.
This is my summer holiday from Data 100 Systems Limited,
Mm.
Computer Peripheral Division. Um, I am, Pete Challenger is the guy on the right, who, or maybe to my left,
Yeah.
who was the boffin at Entech.
Yeah.
He's throwing a cable across about 20 feet of a ditch between the Reading site and that little hut behind, which was the main power source.
Okay.
Um, so that was me in 1974 at my first ever rock and roll gig.
Brilliant. Okay. So I do remember that picture. So for everybody, just to be absolutely clear, after that detailed explanation of the picture, that is Bob in the white t-shirt in 1974 at the Reading Rock Festival, which was the gig that inspired the rest of his working career. Am I right in saying that? Yeah.
Very
Okay.
true. Yeah.
So, I've got one. I've got one because between part two and part three, we both ran off to find our little bit of memorabilia. Let's see if this actually shows. I think I put my hand across it. This was me at the Reading Rock Festival. I don't know that that was 1974, Bob. I think it was earlier, but it doesn't matter. So if you can see me painting there, I had a very salubrious job. I was commissioned to paint signs for the toilets at Reading Rock Festival. So that was my job. But we did have a lot of fun, didn't we? All of us together. It was great. Who else was there? Just going on that one for the moment. Who else was there from your buddies at the rock festival working?
John Bowley,
Yeah,
JB, was definitely there.
yeah,
I remember Nick Jones was there.
yeah.
I don't remember any of the others
Okay.
specifically.
Not Ian.
Martin, yeah, Martin came along a little bit later.
Mm.
Ian, yeah, yeah. Oh, Ian was definitely there.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Because
I
I
got
do
enjoyed a
remember
great.
we did spend copious amounts of time in the pub up the road once our duties were done.
The Moderation was the name of the
Yeah,
pub.
it was
How
fun. It was fun.
appropriate.
It was fun. So, forward winding again to where we'd got to in our discussion. By this time, you're quite a seasoned traveller. You've been on the road with various bands, including Ozzy Osbourne, including the Pretenders. You're working with Cliff. You've just worked with Olivia, and she's just taken you out to dinner, transporting you via her limo and her Lear jet before you flew back to join Cliff on his tour. Tell us about some of the other bands. What were the Kinks like to work with, for example? Because I loved their music, but we all know that there was a lot of, let's say, not quite such good stuff between the brothers. What was it like
Yes,
working with them?
they were difficult, definitely. Brilliant shows, I
Yeah,
must say that
yeah,
I love the shows.
yeah,
And between them and Cliff, it's like chalk and cheese.
yeah,
Cliff is highly choreographed. What you start with, you end with, But the Kinks, you had a set list, Yes, always started with the same song, and they always finished with the same song.
What did they
But
start with,
one,
Bob? What did they start with? Do you remember?
I'm not saying a particular song, but
Oh, okay,
according to
okay.
the set list,
Yeah,
they started with that and they finished with that.
yeah.
But what happened in the middle, you had to know what the song was,
Yes,
and by the first two or three chords, you know,
yes,
in some aspects.
yes,
Luckily, Ray always started with a little two or three strokes on the guitar. He always had a guitar. Usually had a guitar with him,
mm,
acoustic guitar, and he'd strum out, and you go, "Oh yeah, that's blah blah blah, or that's blah
mm,
blah blah,"
mm.
and then you'd know which buttons to press from your pre-recorded settings.
Yes, yes,
It's quite technical, but
yeah,
um, it was very much off the cuff, seat of your pants stuff, which is really exciting.
yeah,
And they were a great band to work
yeah,
for,
yeah.
but also scary. You didn't want to go backstage afterwards.
No,
There
no.
was, yeah, it was.
Are you on the move?
They were a strange couple.
Yeah,
Their last album was called Hatred.
yeah,
In brackets, the only thing that keeps us together.
yeah. I
That sort
find
of
it, I find it very extraordinary that, I mean, they were such a British band. They were, they were, they made
trendsetters.
such, yeah, and such fantastic music that
Yep.
they made such fantastic music when they actually did not get along together. There was no harmony between the brothers, and yet they made such lovely music. That's what I'm trying to get at. Interesting, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And am I right in saying that there was a connection between Ray Davis and Chrissie Hynde?
Yes.
Chrissie Hynde from The Pretenders, for those of you who
Yes.
aren't quite so
Yes.
familiar. Yeah,
But they were a couple at one point.
yeah,
JB and I were actually on a tour. I think it was around 1980 or 1981, somewhere around there.
yeah.
And we gave Chrissy and Ray a lift back to the hotel in the crew bus, and they actually started a physical fight
Ah,
on the bus. And so we
okay.
banned them from ever traveling on our bus
Oh my
again.
God.
I
Oh
mean, that
my
was our
God.
home, and they were, you know. But
Yeah.
that's
Okay. Okay.
it happens. It happens.
There we are.
So
We won't dwell on that.
uh,
They were both lead members of the most fantastic bands in the
and
history of British music.
yeah, and they
So,
swapped songs together, and
wow.
this is where they gelled. They had the
Yes.
same basic um,
Yeah.
thoughts about how music's
Yeah.
well shared, and
Yeah. Yeah. So that
similar
was,
thoughts of the
yeah.
situation in the world,
w-
just what the music's about.
Yeah. One of their big connection points. So
Yeah,
Kinks, the Pretenders. So who else stands out in your mind?
Jerry
Uh,
Rafferty,
ah, okay.
so sad. He hated touring,
Mm.
really, really hated touring. I think he only did it because he was obliged to, by the record companies
Yes.
or whatever. He would
Yes.
much rather be happy at home, sitting in the studio, recording, writing and recording music.
Yeah.
I think his family would sustain that thought. But on the road, the music was just enchanting.
Mm.
I can't. I still get um, tears in my
Emotional.
eyes thinking about, yeah, emotional
Yeah.
about the
Yeah.
music, because
Yeah.
it to me it strips your inner feelings bare. You can feel the things he was going through, even though you didn't know that until after his story was, established and all that.
Yeah.
There was one. There was one night in Glasgow. We were in the bar after the show, and Billy Connolly was there
Mm.
because they were together in the Humble Bums years and years before then, and Billy said, "You're gonna tell your grandchildren that you met me." I thought, yeah, I probably will do.
Yeah.
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 How wonderful. All
I
there.
was more interested actually at the time of um, Pamela swapping T-shirts with us at the bar, but that's another story altogether.
That's another story. Tell us about Shirley Bassey, because well, tell us about Shirley Bassey.
Very professional,
Mm.
except in certain areas. I mean, she's just a brilliant performer.
Yeah, beautiful
Obviously,
voice.
a vocal diva.
Yeah.
Um, and I really enjoyed working with her.
Mm.
At a world tour with her. Um, um, but she had this thing about I don't know it's the thing, but for some reason we were doing the King of Oman. Is he a king or
I don't know.
whatever?
I haven't got a clue.
And she walked off stage 20 minutes into the set for no
Oh,
reason at all, no warning.
okay.
We were on the talk backstage. What's going on? Where is she? Why isn't she coming back on? No idea, no idea at all. Anyway, they had to close the place down, and they said, "No, no, it's she's not coming back."
It's all over.
And through that, she was given a lifetime ban of ever playing in Oman.
Yeah.
A promoter had to do 3 free concerts.
Yeah. Yeah.
To make up for
As a sort of apology. My God.
who
Did she ever
knows.
say anything about that, Bob? Did she ever
No,
say
no,
anything?
no,
No.
no.
Oh well, that
But
was
we
that.
had we had we had dinners together, the crew and the band and everyone. She was good fun to be with, actually.
Mm, mm,
But yeah, there's another story which I don't think I better tell at the moment. But yeah, we got on well.
mm,
Um,
mm.
uh, and like I say, she was just a bit unpredictable.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
Grace Jones, I'd forgotten about Grace Jones. I did her one night. I
Mm,
didn't do her. Excuse me. She was. I was doing a gig at a place where she was coming on the next day, so we left the lighting rig in for her. And during rehearsals, she saw someone climbing up the scaffolding to the lighting truss and adjusting lights and stuff.
mm.
And she says, "Oh, can you go up there?" And I said, "Well, you have to go up there to focus the lights in the right places and stuff."
Mm.
So she said, "Oh, okay." Anyway, come the show, halfway through the show, a guy brings out a huge ladder, and this is on ground support. It's not hung from the ceiling or anything. And he puts the ladder up against it. She comes out in a leopard skin leotard, climbs up the ladder and gets onto the truss and climbs along the truss.
Oh my God.
And then another guy comes up, presumably her tamer or whatever, and he gets up there as well. Two people up the truss. It was just, and nothing I could do about it.
No.
I was out in the audience. They were on stage. Talk about panic.
Yeah.
Oh,
But that
but
nothing happened. They didn't fall off and everything
nothing
was okay.
happened. No,
No.
no, no.
So
It's just
going
another
on,
one of those strange things.
yeah. Just another bit of ad-libbing. Thinking of that and thinking of you guys, rigging and setting things up all over the place in different situations. Did any of you have any accidents? Did any of you ever, fall off something, or are there any
I had,
stories there in the background?
well, one that comes straight to light is I was doing the Pretenders
Yeah,
in, I think it was Fort Lauderdale in Florida,
yeah,
and I'd climbed up the truss and was going along it, focusing the lights, pointing the lights in the right places and everything.
mm,
And when I came to the point where it was slung from the ceiling, I put my hand on the chain and just received this huge electric shock,
wow,
and I couldn't let go of the chain. I was actually stuck there on
mm,
the truss, 30 feet above the ground. All I could do was scream,
mm,
um, and it took, in my estimation, at least 10 seconds. It may have well been longer for someone to go and turn the power off.
ooh,
I
okay,
going through my while I was having this shock, going through my mind was, do I try and throw myself off and take the chance of not breaking too much on the ground, or just wait here?
mm,
You know,
mm,
um, it's amazing how your mind can actually think clearly
mm,
when your body is doing something
mm,
that you've no control over.
mm.
Anyway,
And probably
um,
by the time you'd finished that thought, somebody had managed to turn the power off.
yeah,
Yeah.
they had to unlock the electric company, believe it or not.
Wow.
They had to unlock it to get in there and turn it off. But I had warned the electrician in the morning that I wasn't happy with the earthing system, and that's what caused the problem.
Yeah.
The truss wasn't earthed properly.
So you went up
But
there and,
anyway,
and proved it to him, Bob.
I did. Yeah, so I'll show you.
God. Okay.
And not only that, but once I'd recovered, I had to climb back up there again and finish the photos.
Mm. Yeah.
But then, it's one of those things that you do.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's these days, of course, there's the health and safety executive, who come along and say, no, you're not even going to even try and do that. But that stifles so much stuff. I'd much rather it was a
Yeah.
jungle rather than
Yeah. Yeah.
a pedestrian precinct.
Mm.
Yeah.
I seem to remember that you were either off on a tour or you were traveling between one country and another, and you didn't get your visa sorted out. And there's a story attached to that, isn't that? Who were you
Yes,
traveling with and
yeah.
where were you going to?
This was Shirley Bassey again.
Okay.
I'd been hired to do an American tour with her, and I said, okay, as long as you sort the visa out, because I haven't got a work visa for the
Mm.
States at the moment, because you had to have one in your passport or they wouldn't let you get in. Um, so they said, yeah, yeah, there's no problem at all. Yes, we'll sort that out for you.
Mm.
So I booked the ticket, flew to, yeah, I flew to the States, to Washington,
Mm.
D.C.,
Mm.
and got off the plane. And they said, oh, you don't have a visa here. You're a work visa. And I said, no, no, it's being arranged for me. And they said, oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry, but um, we can't allow you in. Um, I said, oh, that's a little inconvenient. They said, no, you'll be on the next plane back to London again.
So they sent you back.
They sent me back. Yeah,
Wow.
they sent me back.
Wow. So what
But of
happened?
course, as soon as I got back, I said, look, you were going to sort the visa out for me, and it hadn't happened. And they
Yeah.
said, oh, we're so sorry, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, they put me into the Holiday Inn in Chelsea.
Mm.
And they said, don't worry, said, we'll pay that. You can use the minibar. You can use anything you like until we let you know that we've got the visa.
Mm.
So they eventually they did come through with the visa. Meanwhile, I was out in Hyde Park, drinking champagne.
Wait, so you were holed
Thank
up
you
there
very much.
with a mini bar at your disposal, and what was happening with the at the other end with the tour? Did they have to start without you, or did you get out there in time to
I
start?
don't remember precisely, but it wasn't the first. I mean, it wasn't the first gig. It was like I had done more work with her beforehand, so
Yeah,
um, it
yeah.
wasn't starting from fresh, so to speak. Um,
Mm.
and it's like she was using house lights wherever, so it was a brand new gig everywhere that I went.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
think I had to call every single when I was in London. I had to call every single venue that they were going to coordinate the lighting system to what I required.
Okay, okay, okay.
So I knew the show, and all I had to do when I got there was learn what desk it was and how to use the desk.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was good. And I travelled with my gel pack as
Mm.
well, just in case, so that I
Um,
could change colours and things.
yeah, yeah. Good.
One of those things that a lighting countryman does.
I had thought that you'd got turned back from Russia, but anyway, I was wrong. Um,
No, that was someone else. That
Somebody
was
else
someone
that got
else on a different crew. Yeah.
right. Okay, okay. Um, is there anything else that you want to tell us about life on the road, really? Is there any other outstanding memory that you've got? I'm imagining that the friendships you made, became comrades in arms. Well, not in arms, but you know what I mean. Became great friends, people that you traveled
One of
with.
my one of my biggest friends that I didn't know from school or from Bognor
Yeah,
was John Seymour.
yeah.
Sea Legs. We called him Sea Legs.
Mm,
had no apparent reason. But he was the production manager for Cliff.
mm.
Really, really nice guy. Um, and uh, we were in New York. We did some gigs with Cliff in New York, and John and I went out for a lunch or whatever at a cafe called Tiffany's. Lunch at Tiffany's, I
Mm.
think, or breakfast at Tiffany's, isn't it? It's the
Breakfast
thing.
at Tiffany's is the famous one. Yeah.
And strangely, Nick Lowe was there, and John Seymour apparently was a flatmate of Nick Lowe's way back when John was working for Jethro Tull, and um, and I thought this is very strange. And Nick Lowe was the bass player in Brinsley Swartz, who was the support band to Al Stewart, one of the very first
Mm.
uh,
Mm.
people that I work with. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
strange uh,
All the
coordinations.
connections. Yeah.
Yeah, connections, brilliant. It's a very small world.
Yeah.
The music is a very small world.
Yeah. I'm sure of it. Um, I think that probably brings us to the end of our time for part three. So, shall we leave it there for now? And then we'll come back and talk about the end of your life on the road and what happened next.
And the Chippendales.
Indeed, we'll leave everybody with the thought that you did actually tour with the Chippendales.
I
All
am a
right, okay.
Chippendale.
Moving on swiftly. Bye for now, everyone. Bye, Bob.
Right.